Hey guys, this is a pre-recorded match. We are playing against Cuban. He's playing against HRE, and we're playing on Dry Arabia. And let's look at it from our point of view. Forward gold. Ubu looks like it's going to be in range of our TC, just barely, so we should be able to protect that. If there's early aggression. Sending our Kana to the middle. This is our fast age up 2 build, where we're going to either transition into Keswick or Mangadai. With trade going behind it. I've been playing a lot of I've played, I want to say 4 Mongol mirrors now. And I've lost, I think, 3 of them. Where our opponent goes 2 TC Deer Stones. And, I go trade, and my eco's kind of able to pull ahead, but then what eventually happens is he's able to get more raids in on my eco because it's more exposed, and I'm not able to get raids on his eco because his 2 TCs are just kind of huddled together and protecting his eco. So I become raidable and he's not, and he kind of just pulls his way back into the game in both cases. So kind of interesting for I guess an argument to be made that in Mongol mirrors a 2 TC play is the right play instead of a trade opening. So just food for thought. I'm still kind of not sure, but I mean, season's about to end. There's only 2 weeks left, so any conclusion that's made is probably not going to be that big of a game changer either way. And we're just scouting around here. We do know there's one more sheep. That's where we double back. So we have our 9-2 split. Next villager is going to go into wood. And we should be dropping a silver tree here shortly. We're only another 10 gold off. Okay, so we got our gold that we need. So we should be manually turning in our villagers here shortly. I'd be surprised if we don't. There we go. A little bit late. It's kind of a weird thing that's been happening. I've been dropping off and sending them over here, and this villager goes to the other side of the TC for no particular reason and then comes back. And it's happened to me in a few games. I'm not sure why that bug happens, but not losing a lot of time. It's just a weird kind of a thing that happens. Our timing though is pretty good if we look at our opponents. Our opponent actually I think is a little late on his age up time, so probably not the cleanest build by our opponent. Yeah. Taking our con, we're going to try to finish scouting, run into a wood line, so we drop this vision just to see kind of best way to run around this thing. And over here, we got 3 villagers here, villager on the gold. These villagers aren't being, I didn't shift queue them into wood and gold. So this is probably going to be a Mangadai opening, if I was to guess. We do spot his Akin Chapel. It is right next to his TC. So we're just going to keep running around. Finish scouting over here, see if we can't pick up any more sheep that he might have missed. You never know. As well as get a good idea of where the subsequent golds and stuff are going to be. One thing that we did switch up is our settings with our mouse. We used to have this mouse acceleration, and so now our mouse doesn't have acceleration, it just moves at a consistent fast speed. So we're still getting used to it. This is only like our third or our second day with this, so we're still getting used to how it works and plays. Just selecting units is a little bit different, but I do feel it's a lot smoother and nicer. It's just more consistent than the acceleration, because the acceleration it just speeds up and you don't get used to a smooth movement. One thing though is it would be nice to have, my mouse is just a basic mouse. It's not a mouse with a DPI setting on it. So right now it's artificially being fed up with software, so it's not exactly the cleanest of mouse movements. There's a little bit of pixel skipping that happens, but yeah, I gotta adjust that. But I have to get a new mouse to really get that in a better spot. But um, we are enjoying having a little bit cleaner mouse here. We do drop our sheep here and rally him to the TC, and right when his scout comes by, so good on him being able to snag that from us. A little bit unfortunate for us here. We're gonna finish scouting out this corner to find the market. We are dropping a stable before we drop our blacksmith. Just to deal with men at arms, there's always going to be men at arms be an issue. We see him gathering gold. We see that he's going for his fast castle, almost guaranteed. And if we're able to snipe his one spearman, but he is making horsemen now, so yeah, I guess he did spot out. Oh yeah, he was raiding us over here. We're trading this gold, and we're trying to build a tower real quick. Micro is a little bit sloppy. That's why we're kind of all over the place with these Mangadai. Archon, now that he's free of his sheep, he's gonna head up and go scout. We want to make sure our opponent doesn't rotate into this other gold. And we also want to be able to get some damage in there. We do get this tower up, which was nice, and we do see our opponents chilling on our trade. So we're not gonna go into trade yet. We're not too worried about it. That's the other thing that's kind of nice about the silver tree in some sense, if they don't wall it, because we lost a couple. I mean, I've had I think 3 games that I lost because they had a villager or a soldier in terms of Delhi come wall this at like the 3-minute mark, 4-minute mark. So something I wasn't expecting, caught me with my pants down, and yeah, so, when I wanted to transition into trade, just absolutely screwed. So that's definitely something that that can happen. That's unfortunate to say the least. This Keshik pushed my Mangadai forward. Okay, I was wondering what happened here. There was some sort of because I didn't nothing they got aggroed on. They just this Keshik pushed the Mangadai forward and made him want to aggro into the building. So it's kind of one of those weird things with the units in this game. We do see his villagers getting pulled. We assume it's for gold. Or maybe for the deer. We're not entirely sure, but we're sitting here. We do unfortunately lose our con. Bad micro again on our part. He does raid us over here. And we were pulling back a couple of troops to help deal with it, while keeping our army over here up front. We have killed one villager, but villager lead is still in our opponent's favor. And actually, it's a 2 villager lead, so now you can tell that our macro has actually been messing up. That means we've fallen behind. And a couple villagers. So we see these horsemen, but not really because we're microing over here. So we're doing other things, and these horsemen jive onto our villagers, and we're losing a lot of villagers here, which is really big because not only are we Mongols and we're behind on villagers from the get-go, but we're losing a ton here. And luckily we do have wheelbarrow, so that is going to help us to be able to get away a little bit faster, but yeah, again, really really bad there. So we just garrison our troops. We've lost 4 villagers, which is really big. Oh, he's killed 4. Yeah, we haven't killed a single villager. He's killed 4 villagers. And over here, we try to get a little bit of a raid. We're starting to see archers and stuff, so we're just harassing and we're falling back here. We can't particularly turn and deal with these horsemen right now. We just kind of need the Mangadai to do what they can. Over here, we're rallying a couple more troops. We still have denied this gold, which is a pretty big deal. As long as we can deny gold, there's not going to be men-at-arms, basically. These guys are still running around. Over here again, the horseman tried to dive us, but we did drop a tower, so we're gonna able to kind of defend ourselves here. It would be nice to get an additional tower on. If he actually truly don't win us here, he'd definitely kill probably 2 more villagers. We're sitting on 2 production buildings. And we did just start trading because his army's been going. He saw that our trade was there, but we weren't trading, so he's been kind of like tuned off from the trading. And now we're kind of doing our own thing. And I kind of wanted to find these horsemen that are in about. So I was going to sacrifice him going back onto gold. I'm really tempted to turn off Fog of War, but I bet you he's getting onto gold here soon. We'll see. I guess we'll see it up top, huh? But we're trying to find his this horseman army. Because I've lost 4 villagers. He's actually falling behind a little bit in his macro now. He's on gold now. He's 22 villagers on gold. Holy shit. So running around the side, trying to get onto his wood line. Don't see any villagers over here on gold, but we do find villagers on his wood line. That's kind of one of the unfortunate things about just the Mangadai in general, just like how we had that many villagers there and we're just shooting at him with 7 Mangadai, which is what, almost 1,000 resources worth, and we lose all of the, we only kill 3 villagers though. So he's armor attacks in the front, super slow reaction by us. These villagers are gonna run forward. I should have pulled them back. This is slapping micro on me. And well, yeah, again, we're gonna start. We're really hurting in terms of eco right now. So he's pushing us, and he's sitting in a really comfy spot in terms of his gold now because he's actually prepped to go up the castle. But behind this, our trade is starting to kind of get established. But we've only got 4 traders, so it's really not like out of this world strong or anything. And on top of it now, our food is only on 9 villagers on food, so our army is what our army is. But I guess the one big plus side is that his army is way out of position here. He doesn't have any spearmen really to speak of. They're all at home, and he doesn't have any men-at-arms really here to deal with the Keshiks. I probably could have been a little bit more careful with my Mangadai in terms of these archers and stuff, kiting. But yeah, we're able to clean this up. And now he's going up the castle. So we're able to clean up this fight. Just pretty lucky because in terms of eco, we're really far behind. We're nowhere near looking into castle. Trade's only at the 5 traders, so we're in a pretty rough spot right now. But yeah, we're coming up to go see if he's on gold. We assumed he was getting gold, and we see the Burgrave going up, so, and a bunch of villagers here. And these are a lot of weakened villagers too from the previous raid, so we're able to chew them up pretty good. And Burgrave is pretty close to finishing out here, but he's lost 11 vills. And then this army that he's got here is going to get cleaned up. And he decides just to tap out because he's not going to have gold. Kind of a weird match. I feel like if he stays here, there's a good chance he actually can make something happen. But yeah, that was just a match against this HRE. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that fight, he possibly is able to stabilize behind that. And then I think that was. I think that this is the one we looked at. Okay, yeah, okay. So let's look at this one next. We'll do 2 now. We'll look at England. Donner Hall. We're playing Dry Arabia again. So typically, I like to go into Horseman or Keshik against them because of the longbow mass. But it's kind of a weird dynamic with England. So if you're able to take the fights early with their longbows, you will actually beat their longbows in a one-on-one fight, even almost in a 1v2 fight. And if you get your upgrades early too, your plus ones, your plus one damage or plus one defense, if you have one of them and he doesn't, you can take some fights with only Mangada against Longbow that you might think that you would lose. So that's one good aspect, I guess. If you get the timing right, but again, it's all about timing really, and really just getting in their head and making them quit that early because if someone sticks it out, you can be in a really bad spot really quickly against England. So we're over here. We're trying to scout around. We see sheep back here. Kind of a small route, but we're gonna go ahead and go for it. A little bit shorter than we might like. Oh, we should go caster mode, I guess. Yeah, let's go under our vision just again for this video. We'll just do it from our point of view. We drop off the sheep, 5 sheep we found. More than enough for age up and for starting production. We're going to see if we can pick up any more in our side of the map. One more sheep on the edge here. Just to see on the other side of this wood line. Sometimes it's kind of a weird blind spot. Sometimes the sheep stuck to those walls. So finding one sheep out here on his own, a little bit weird. Usually there's another one nearby. So we're trying to find that other sheep, but it looked like it wasn't that close. So then we find a couple out here on the edge. We're just going to keep hopping around. He's aging up with the council right now with 2. So with only 2, it looks like a fast castle play by him. Not an aggressive feudal play. At least that's what this amount of villagers building is usually an indication of that. Our silver tree starts a little bit later than him. And we do have our standard 4 villagers on it. Silver tree to trade. Force him out on the map against us. So we basically scouted our half of the map. And we're going to head across to see what we can see. These villagers are rallied over to the Uvu, so this is going to be my Mangadai opening here. Yeah, like I said earlier, I've been playing around a little bit with the 2TC in scrims and stuff. Or not in scrims, and skirmishes against AI. Just feeling on the build, or it's just such a weird timing thing. It feels so much later. Especially with the food units. The food being such a heavy unit with this cav comp that it just feels funky. So we see he's slow tapping up at 2, so this indicates a castle age later for me. Typically is what it is. So we're just aggroing here. He'll probably finish before we kill him, but if he has to pull this villager and put in another one, that's gonna be nice. It's gonna be a really good, a good bit of micro APM that we're pulling basically from him. So we're able to stay out of range of this TC and still attack his villager, I believe. Yeah, there we go. If we had been able to focus solely on that, it would have been nice because we would be able to kill that probably. Archer, Mangadai on the way. He's got 41, so 3 hits. So we're able to kill one of the villagers. So that's actually a pretty big mistake on his part, not pulling it. So that's also indicative of his APM. For him to just let that die instead of pulling it back and switching it out with another one is just indicative of just a little bit of laziness of APM and stuff. So that might be a really good sign for us. Our silver tree's on the way, heading over. We've got our first set of Mangadai out. We really should be queued up with another one. There we go. TC is building, and we do have our wheelbarrow up and going. So we're gonna finish scouting up here up top. And He's got an interesting build, right? He's only got 3 on food and 9 on wood. And he's got nothing on gold. So typically, the fast castle is why you have a couple of villagers here. Oh, I didn't even realize. He's going for a 2TC. So he's going for a fast 2TC. I wasn't expecting it, that's for sure. And our Mangudai aren't going to get there in time. So I guess sacrificing this one veil to keep us distracted from seeing the stone was definitely worth. I gotta do better at looking at the top of these bars on caster mode too. We're dropping a blacksmith so we can harass a little bit better here. And he's finishing out, but he's gonna lose a villager. He's lost 2 villagers at this point, which is nice. But this town center is basically up. So there's not much we can do here. We're just gonna try to snipe 1 villager here. Again, this time he's been a little bit more, a little better with his micro there, garrisoning. So he's on 2 villagers less right now, but he's on 2 TC. So he's in a really good spot to recover and put his eco count way ahead of ours. And our silver tree is just getting set up. And then we've got 12 villagers on food. We're going to start rotating villagers onto gold. So we can start cranking out trade behind this. We're trying to snipe a villager here. We're just able to get a little bit of damage. And we do see a stable coming up. And even just denying this stable a little bit is nice. We're just harassing. As long as you can harass and get little pokes in here and there. Draw APM away from what he wants to do is always going to be helpful. You just have to be careful with the Mangudai not to get sucked in under the TC too much. So we're pulling around and over to go check out the gold. We were pulling a villager to go build a tower on the gold. We didn't want him to go up the castle easily. Just in castle becomes a big hassle dealing with England. I mean, it's already kind of a hassle to deal with them with the longbows, but we can deny tech advantage and we can tech up behind it. It's going to be nice. So we're trying to draw this one longbow out away from his base. It's not that we're scared of it. We just want to be able to collapse on it like we are here. So that's basically what we do. He's got a nice little mass of longbows starting to form up. And if he loses 3 of them, and we're able to save that one Mangudai, thankfully. It's pretty big just to be able to trade out like that. And we do have our +1 arrow defense. And he doesn't have his +1, so that's what I mean that you can do pretty good with Mangudai against longbows. If you get those upgrades and you take favorable fights. You can also trade out with these 3 with 2, but obviously if you have better numbers, it's even better. We decided to sacrifice this Keshik to idle his wood line a little bit. It's not so much that if we sniped a villager, yeah, it would have been really nice, but even weakening it, the big thing was really just slowing down his wood a little bit. We have started to trade, so we're up to 2 traders now. Our wood, how's our wood looking at? We got 9 villagers on wood, so we gotta get a couple more. We got 10 right now, actually. One of them's building a gur. Our scout spots out a wall coming up, so we were here with our army to help secure this gold vein with this tower. It looks like it's out of his vision, so we weren't too worried about it, but we gotta get over here as fast as possible. And it's kind of ballsy what he's doing here, trying to do this with 1 villager. Honestly, if he takes this and goes this way, it's because he wanted this deer pack, is why he did it. But he loses his scout, and now his army doesn't have a really good vision. And his army is chasing a couple of Mangudai, exposing his 1 villager. And now his longbows are out on an island, and these 4 longbows will not deal with these Mangudai. We bring in our weakened Mangudai from the other side too to help. And overall, I think 2 Mangudai for 4 archers. That's a pretty good trade. And a scout and a villager. So yeah, overall a really good trade. We dropped this tower. We're getting our upgrade and our outpost. This villager, does he die to that wolf? Oh man, he barely stays. That's really sloppy by me too, just letting that happen. Here you can see he's trying to pull onto gold. He realized that there's a tower here. So this is what I mean by being able to deny a gold a castle play. So just slowing it down for him tech-wise is going to be big. If we can get a tech advantage on him, you know, he'll have to mass something up, a tower, or he'll have to get rams out basically to deal with this. So he's rallying villagers under here. How much gold can they collect before it dies? Yeah, so it collected 3 gold and it died, so it has to collect 2 or 1 gold, which is never going to be worth it in terms of your APM. He tries to continue to force this wall to go up. Now he's got some horsemen with it, but again, he's only got a couple of longbows here. So our Keshik are taking the brunt of this damage from these spearmen, but we're just gonna take our Mangada and wrap around here and snipe these snipe the longbows. Because once we take care of the longbows, we can just kite out the rest of this army. And we do get a little bit aggressive here because there is a longbow there. And he tries to fight his villagers against my Mangada here, and the big thing was being inside this TC range. So if we stay out of TC range here, we don't use these 2 archers, Mangada, so that's kind of a mistake on our part. And we have gone up to 15 on food. We're only at 7 traders because our wood eco is kind of suffering. Because we have dropped a couple of pastures. And we should be actually macroing a little bit better in terms of our traders right now. Behind this, we're sending a villager to go tower this gold over here. We have a small army over here, just a couple Keshiks to help deal with denying these golds. And that's the big thing. Our gold is just sitting in a really nice spot here. He's massing up spearmen, horsemen. He really wants to get this wall up. And again, we could take this fight right now and trade out with these longbows. So even though we're weakened, you know, as long as we keep trading out when we're in our eco lead, that's fine. Even though like this isn't a good fight for us, it makes him overextend here, and we've got a Keshik and another Mangada on the way. So we're fine with him overextending. You see this one Mangada was fighting 3 longbows, and sure we didn't like perhaps win, but without the reinforcements coming, but we're getting damage in. Behind this, he starts raiding our trade with a horseman, so he is paying attention to that we are looking to trade. And so, we're able to hold off this gold, and now he's just heavy onto wood. Only a couple villagers on food to maintain our unit production for longbows. He cancels this house after I hit it. You know, after I hit it, you just leave it up. Just wait for me to burn it down. It's not in your favor just to let me do that. Bad micro on my part over here. I'm trying to send units over to deal with these horsemen. It's the units that were over here protecting. No, these units they rallied all the way over and across, I believe, yeah. So we try to keep a nice mass here to deal with this. We're on deer over here, super far mining, which is really bad. They aggroed a different deer pack. It looks like they work once you aggro onto a deer pack, onto the wrong deer, because they were next to each other. I must have clicked the deer from this far deer pack instead of this close one. And yeah, it just aggroed onto the rest of the deer pack, not just any old deer nearby. It's a specific deer pack that gets aggroed onto, which is a little bit of good info to know, I guess. Yeah, and behind this, we're up to 14, 15, 16 traders we're going up to. So in a really good spot. Food-wise now, we're in a really good spot. We can go into castle basically in a minute if we decide to, which is probably the right choice here. Is to stop unit production and go to castle. That's kind of what we're looking at. I think we are starting to look into doing that. We'll see when we stop unit production here. Because we assumed he's just making a ton of longbows. He's been losing them and like trickling them. And yeah, we just have to be careful that we get caught out with a weird push. Let's see, and he's rotating onto food now, so he's now got 23 on food. So he pulled a lot of villages from wood. And he's gonna start making an army, I think, is what that indicates. just burn some of this to open up a little bit of map. We don't want to have to run all the way across again. And again, we're just building more units. I'm surprised how many units we're building. I figured at this point we would look for a castle. And that's probably something that we should look into doing is look the castle a little bit sooner. We're going into, we've got 8 pastures. So trying to get pastures out. We see a second TC here. Or a third TC. Because we were rallying troops there. So we just stop our troops there, start dropping a tower here. We're going to drop a tower further up and we're rallying troops further up. And we run into this. So we know that this third TC is going to be a pretty big issue. And we also know that if he's doing this, we need to tech up because we're going to need siege really to deal with this. We can't just dive with our guys. And once we get castle age with the +2 arrow defense, as well as the more HP and more units, our veteran units, we'll be able to deal with diving under TC fire a lot better, especially English TC. So we just pull our woodvilles to get the Kurultai going. With the extra gold and stuff, or extra wood that we had, we just queued up a bunch of traders. Tries to go a little bit of aggro out here on us to harass our trade, and we catch his army out, and we're just going to go up north. Make sure he doesn't wall us off, because this is the one access to gold he has is up here, so we have to make sure we keep tabs on this wall and then on this area. And we're just massing another army up here in the middle, just to help maintain pressure here, just to make sure we know where we're at. But at this point, I'd say the game is pretty much over because he's just so far behind on tech. We do notice this army over here raids us. We go up to castle. I think with that, once we go up to castle, he kind of is looking to aggro us here. We pull these traders and send them to the north. I probably could have done a little bit job with these traders. And he pushes out over here, and he's just losing villagers on this tower, basically. But our secondary army is over here, and we're going to dive in. I think we should just dive in on this. But I think we're waiting for upgrades. We got veteran Keshik up. Okay. Since we see he's going on to gold over here as well, we're going to rotate this army over and around. We do that. The play is no longer on this back gold, but on this front gold. So he's mining up gold as fast as he can, because he's got to get to castle or die. You know, from the tech advantage. This last spearman's dead, so these guys are going to 100% die, and we dive over here. So again, it would be nice for the veteran Mangadai, there we go, to pop through, and our +2 air defense is popping through now, which is nice. So we try to pull out from under TC fire, and again, he's lost a lot of vills at this point, and his little army over here has been cleaned up, and he decides to GG out of there. So just a couple of matches on Dry Arabia where our aggression really made our opponents turtle up and really allowed us to trade freely. That's kind of an ideal situation for this strategy. So hope you guys enjoyed the matches, and I'll see you on the next one.